Hi comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And today we are going to get into the TARDIS and travel back 31 years to 1990, and we are going to be going to the UK Comic Art Convention in 1990. The UK Comic Art Convention was the premier UK comic convention. Went from 1985 through to 1998, and generally occurred in London. I think the last one in 98 was in Manchester because of the rising costs of holding a convention in London. There was also a few years where there were two shows a year, with the second show being in Glasgow. So I went to quite a few of these. I'm going to share them all with you over the next few weeks, because I have the convention catalogue. Each of these conventions, they produced a fantastic catalogue, generally costing £5 or £6, that came with your ticket. And the artists would produce artwork for this catalogue, which was then auctioned for charity. So a great event. The one in 1990, it was the first one I attended. So let's take a quick look at the catalogue. So you get this great big thick catalogue, really nice quality. And you get artwork from, as I said, artwork from a number of the artists. There's a list here. So this occurred on September the 22nd, 23rd, 1990, in the Logan Hall of the Institute of Education, 20 Bedford Way, London. We get really nice pieces of artwork from various artists. So we've got the Spirit here, we've got Judge Dredd. There's an introduction from the organisers. These two guys here, Frank Plowright and Hassan Youssef, were the organisers of the event for many years. They called themselves, they formed a company called Rusty Staples. Originally they did it for free as a sort of as a fan thing, but eventually they needed to raise some money, so they formed a company and started running it more professionally. Got a nice layout showing what's in each room. Advert from Comic Showcase. Past, present and future, and they're showing some of the stuff that's coming out at the time. So of course we've got Viva Vendetta, Sandman, Clive Barker's Tapping the Vein. You get some nice articles. This is an advert for a UK sort of adult comic that came out at the time called Toxic. I've got the first issue of Toxic, which I'll probably share sometime. Then this is really nice. So they here it says assembled fandom, and if you pre-registered for the convention, they published your name here, and I can see. Can I find myself? I think I can. This is in alphabetical order, I think. Yeah, here I am. Don't know if you can see that. Mark Oldroyd. That's me. So famous forever, because I appear in this convention brochure as somebody who pre-registered for the convention. Some nice artwork here. This is particularly nice. I like that. And one of the other nice things is they occasionally do this focus on particular artists and writers. An advert for Gosh Comics in London. Again, some lovely artwork here. This one's by David Pugh. Somewhere a convention is happening. Nice Vampirella drawing there. Trapped Wind is no laughing matter. Spotlight on John Higgins. So this is Animal Man. This is by Boland. Nice, like that. The Saviour. The Trenchcoat Brigade, that one says. And as I say, all this artwork was done for free by the artists, and then auctioned off. Spotlight on Charles Vess. I really like Charles Vess as an artist. He's around 70 now, but he did some great work with Neil Gaiman. And the first comic he ever bought was Fantastic Four issue 6. So you really get your money's worth in this convention brochure. This one says, "You always draw grotesque animals. No alternative. I can't draw people." Spotlight on Mike Collins, and we've got nice Judge Dredd drawing there. Wonderful stuff. There was a Simon Bisley art raffle. It's Kid Eternity. Nice advert for Forbidden Planet in London. Dave Gibbons artwork there. There's really nice little cartoons here. This one's Pedantic Stan, the comics fan, and this is his adventures visiting the comic convention. Yay, we get to queue in the rain, sheer bliss for a comics fan. Spotlight on Mark Wheatley. We've got Rorschach here. This was a comic out at the time, The Bogeyman. This is advertising the Glasgow 1991 Comic Art Convention. A couple of nice panels there. This one's a take on The Last Supper, and it's come to pay the bill and everybody's complaining. And the guy in the middle saying, "For fuck's sake, that's the last time I take you lot out for supper." Spotlight on Paul Grist, Burglar Bill artist. I don't think I attended the auction that year. I didn't buy any of this artwork. I did get some artwork in a couple of these auctions in years that I went, but I'll share that when I get to the years that I did buy some artwork. The A1 True Life Bikini Confidential. I've got this comic. It's fun. I will show you that at some stage. This is interesting. So Knockabout Comics produced My Troubles with Women by Robert Crumb, and one of the things that I actually found in this convention was a flyer from Knockabout Comics, explaining that Knockabout Comics announces that Robert Crumb's first book to be published in Britain for 10 years, My Troubles with Women, will not be available to booksellers from their usual distributors. And it goes on to explain that Amalgamated Book Services have refused to present My Troubles with Women to booksellers on the grounds that it would cause offence to women. So this was one of the controversies at the time, and this is from Knockabout, and they're offering anybody who wants to get copies to contact them directly. And you'll see in the notes there's a couple of panels about what the women's view who are in comics is on that decision not to distribute Robert Crumb's My Troubles with Women. Brian Talbot, the Naz, nice. This is from Mark Buckingham. Mark Buckingham always did free artwork for comic art for the Comic Art Convention. He was a big supporter. Spotlight on Kevin O'Neill. So Kevin O'Neill, famous now for working with Alan Moore on League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I really like his artwork on that. Speakeasy, another sort of independent comic in around that time. Nice. There we go. There's that Paul Grist, Burglar Bill. I think if I'd been going to bid on any of the artwork here, this one by Paul Grist, Burglar Bill, is the one that probably appeals to me the most. UCAC profile on Steve Rood. This is fun. It's from Viz Comics. Stop and look at yourself. What do you think you look like, you pathetic, sad individuals, as you sit there reading your precious comics and slotting them into those silly plastic bags? Don't you ever stop to consider exactly why it is girls don't want to go out with you? Sure, the fact that you don't wash regularly could have something to do with it. Obesity may play a part. Perhaps your diet of crisps, Vimto and cheese footballs needs looking at. But dare we suggest that this dismal obsession with comics is the real problem? Let's face it, comics are for kids, sexual perverts and people who can't read properly. And so why don't you just grow up and act your age, for Christ's sake? That's by Viz Comics, which is a satirical magazine for adults in the UK. Yeah. I think the comic fans have changed a bit, and we've got a lot more women in the hobby. It's got a much wider base than it had in 1990. This was the view of comics, of people who bought comics in 1990. Bogeyman, it's a good comic. I've got all the Bogeyman issues. Right, so that covers the brochure. This is a page for autographs and sketches. Unfortunately, I didn't get any of those. And then let's just take a quick look at the programme of events. So this came inside here, and it tells you the schedule of events that's happening. So there's various panels, meet the guests, panel on Batman, Desert Island Comics, so which comics would you take to a desert island? There's a costume parade, very early days of cosplay, and then the charity auction where they sold off all the artwork. And then on the Sunday, one of the things that they had is did was they announced the Eagle Awards. So this was the UK, basically the UK Comic Awards. And let's have a look. I think I can show you so we can see who won the Comic Awards in 1990. Here we go. So 1990, the results for were presented at UCAC on September the 23rd, and it was Paul Gambaccini and Dave Gibbons. And the winners were Roll of Honour. So the best UK book was 2000 AD, best international comic Akira, favourite artist Simon Bisley, this is the British selection, favourite writer Grant Morrison, no surprise there, favourite graphic novel Slain, favourite character Judge Dredd, no surprise, favourite villain Judge Death, favourite supporting character Strontium Dog, favourite new comic The Bogeyman, favourite comic cover 2000 AD 625, and then the American section, favourite writer Neil Gaiman. He's an English writer, so but I don't know why he's appearing in the American section, presumably because DC was Sandman is a DC comic. Favourite artist Todd McFarlane, favourite inker Paul Neary, favourite comic book Uncanny X-Men, favourite graphic novel Arkham Asylum, favourite character Batman, this was all voted for by the fans, favourite team Doom Patrol, favourite villain the Joker. I mean, some of these are a bit predictable. Character most worthy of his own title, well, we are in London, Captain Britain. Favourite single or continued story Screamer, that was a Peter Milligan book, I think I've got that somewhere. Favourite new comic title Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. Favourite comic cover Aliens 1, there we go, it is a good cover, by Dennis Bavot. Favourite specialist comics publication Marvel Age, there we go. So those were the winners in 1990. I hope you have enjoyed this trip down memory lane. Well, certainly for me, and if you weren't around in 1990, I hope you've enjoyed this time travel back to the UK Comic Art Convention in 1990. Enough said.